Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Yahawashi. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Yahawashi. Peace, salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, and learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to go over the four beasts, Daniel chapter 7, the vision. Just a brief lesson. Yahawah it's edifying. Because this is good. So this is a vision of the four beasts. Like I said, what Daniel had his vision, and it's good to know this history. Because this is a history of us Israelites, it ties hand in hand with it, and it's good to understand the basics of these particular kingdoms spoken of in Daniel chapter 7, and to know some history on it. Because like Yahawashi said, the mysteries of the kingdom are given to you, and Yahawah we are the elect, and we are given so we will have the mysteries of the kingdom, but we need to know some history as well, just the basics. It's all out of love. It's a labor of love. Just if Yahawah this is edifying, so you could get an understanding on that. So this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. So this is Yahawah. This is who he got the vision from. So come and continue on. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. So the four beasts diverse one from another. It's going into saying they're different from one another because these are four empires. We're going to get into these four empires, and I will explain it as we go on to this verse 4. And the first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till all the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and the man's heart was given to it. So this is going in to that lion, which represents the Babylonian Empire. The four wings represent the Assyrian Empire. Wings were plucked because Babylon, it was a province of the Assyrian Empire through Nebuchadnezzar, which was the father of Nebuchadnezzar. He had the Babylonians overthrow the Assyrian Empire, so it rose up out of the Assyrian Empire. So that was that lion standing upon its feet, that lion becoming an empire, and he plucked out the Assyrian Empire, plucking it off them. So we can also get that right here. I have this, what I bring out on the block. It tells you Babylonian Empire, the lion. It says from 605 to 539 BC. And it shows you Daniel chapter 2. I went into Daniel chapter 2 on my Kingdom of Heaven lesson. Yahawah, you check that out just to, because they line up with each other. So let's continue on to verse 5. And beheld another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. It had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus, until it arise, devour much flesh. So going into this, it's letting you know that the teeth, that because between the teeth of it in this verse, it's letting you know that the bear is the Persian Empire, and it raised itself up on one side because on that one side became the Persians became dominant, and that they became that main sector of the Medo-Persian Empire, because of which the Persian Empire, because the 3 ribs are Libya, Egypt, and Babylon, which Persia overthrew. Like I said right there, it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and it said thus, unto it arise, devour much flesh, because they overthrew them. Like I was saying, they took over them and overthrew them. So it became an empire under Cyrus. So that Persian Empire was a massive empire, a big empire, and one of the biggest of all time. It said in the book of Esther, it had 127 provinces, and America has 50 provinces, right? Because a province is a state. So it shows you how big the empire was at the time. And then it line that up also, right here, silver, the Medo-Persian Empire, the bear. And that's what we were just getting into, the bear. That was from 539 to 331 BC. Verse, I'm going to continue on now. I'm on verse 6. And after this I behold, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. So like this leopard, it's going into the Greek Empire, like you see it right here, the Grecian Empire, the leopard, 331 to 168 BC. Con, and then that's why it shows, Alexander the Great, right there, because he ruled during that time, and then we know it split it into 4 when he died. Con. So like going into this as more as well, it's going into the like right here, like I said, the 4 heads, that was getting into when Alexander died, because it got split into four generals. The Grecians took down the Persians and became power. So let's continue on. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So going into this, it's telling you that this is going into the Roman Empire, of course, and it was diverse. It was different because it ran through his government, through a Senate, Slovakia. It wasn't a monarchy. It had elections, political parties. The 3 empires before, they were all monarchies. So this empire was different from all the other. And all these empires are relevant to deal with our history as Israelites. It's good to know this. It had a major part in influencing our people to follow these ways, to leave our true heritage and the scattering of us as a people. So that's why I'm gonna get this as well in the book of Zechariah. So bear with me, Zechariah chapter 1. Before I get that, let's get in some background history on the Babylonian times, because this is what happened during that time. About 600. This is going into it right here. About 600 years before Yahawashi was born, Babylonia, Iraq today, was most powerful and wealthy kingdom in the Middle East. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon besieged Jerusalem and took Daniel and other captives to Babylon to serve in his court. Now I brought that out because it's going to line up when I go into that. Nebuchadnezzar also took some of the sacred objects and vessels from the temples of God back to Babylon. So continue on. One night, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. The king threatened to kill his advisors if they cannot tell him the dream and interpret it. Until Daniel chapter 2 to 5 to 11. Daniel asked the king for some time to interpret the dream. After Daniel prayed, and God revealed the dream and its meaning to him. Daniel chapter 2, 12 to 23. And then that's going into the dream when he tells Nebuchadnezzar the statue of it. That it was Babylonian, the head of fine gold, the chest, arms, and silver. The silver that was Media of Persia, and then the thighs of bronze, the belly and thighs of bronze, that was Greece, and the legs iron, feet. Yeah, the legs and feet of iron and clay. It was getting into that. Yeah, and then So let's continue on. This is Zechariah, Salakia, chapter 1, verse 18. And I lifted up my eyes and saw, behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. So these are the horns, which, or you get into or the powers, right, which scattered in influencing our people. The 4 horns are the Syrian Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, and the Greeks and the Romans. And it's in our history, so it lets us deal with this, with it, like the Syrian Empire. Let's get into that, because this is letting you know right there that influence our scattering of our people. Let's get in the book of 2 Kings chapter 17. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 17. Hoshea reigns over Israel. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea the son of Elah to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did that which was evil in sight of Yahawah, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. So he's getting into, after the kingdom split, this is talking about the northern kingdom. So I'm going to continue on. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. So he became his servant and gave him presents. He became a vessel. Verse 4. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to Sok, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, and he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. So it's telling you right there, he stopped paying tribute to Hoshea because he tried to make a deal with Egypt. So he got put in prison because he did that. He tried to prevent it, right? The Assyrian from taking them over. Shalmaneser found out, and it led to Samaria being besieged and taken over by the Assyrians. And that's the first beast we talked about in the book of Daniel. Our history is intertwined with these empires. That's why it is important to have an understanding of these things, to understand our story as Israelites. This is our history, and it's good to know it, because it's going to link everything up with your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as you're growing. So this is verse 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years, like I was saying, and now verse 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Samaria and placed them in Halah and in Habar by the river of Gazan and in the cities of the Medes. So going into that, was the modern clay, that was close to it, and that, Iraq, that's the modern clay. And then the Assyrian king Shalmaneser the fifth took the northern kingdom captives and it scattered them, and that's going back to that Zechariah. That's why it's good to know this, So go just read Zechariah again. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 19, so you can understand. Yahawashi. And he said unto the angel and talked to me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. So as we could see, like I was saying, the first horn was Assyria, and they scattered the northern tribes because the northern tribes left Assyrian captivity and came over here. Not all of them, though, right? It was just they made a council and they decided to come over here. It wasn't all the northern kingdom. Some of the northern kingdom stayed, and then there's evidence in the scriptures to prove that as well. The brothers Hawayala went into that as well with the brothers, with the Akim, So so that it just going into that, it wasn't all of them that came over here to America when they made that council in 2 Ezra 13. from the Assyrian Empire. And, these captives play a major part in our history, so let's get into Jeremiah chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 6. Faithless Israel. And Yahawah said unto me in the days of Josiah the king, Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel had done? She has gone up every high mountain, Salakia. She has gone up every high mountain, and under every green tree there hath played the harlot. So Khan, it's speaking of the northern kingdom, and heavy in idolatry. So Khan, verse 7. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, because she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. So Khan, she returned not. So this is what happened when she got brought into captivity. So southern kingdom seen this. It's saying, let her treacherous sister, because southern kingdom and northern were going to war together on different alliances and things, like Judah shall not vex Ephraim, and that envy was in play, because we know that goes into that, because like if you read the book of Kings, like Rehoboam, he took the wrong counsel, and then the northern kingdom was like, what lot do we have in David then? That there was that envy, to God. That's why Jeroboam took over the northern kingdom, and then that's when the split happened, like I was talking about. So Khan, it was all through Yahawashi, Shem Yahawashi, because like in the new covenant, it tells you that. It says for the house of Israel and Judah, roughly paraphrasing. So Khan, yeah. So like I was saying, that was in play, that envy. So verse 8, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet the treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So Judah went in idolatry also and played the harlot. That queen of heaven worship, Baal. So we'll see what happened to them. Now we go into that. Like, it's good that I went over that Daniel history, because this is going to be good this lines up right with it. It says Daniel chapter 1, the choice of young men. Daniel chapter 1 and verse 1, in the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, Salak, if I said that wrong, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar of king of Babylon unto Jerusalem and besieged it. So the same way Nebuchadnezzar took over the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom seen it as well and knew what happened. So now Nebuchadnezzar, who is the Babylonian king, he came and did the same thing to the southern kingdom. So verse 2, and the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, and with part of the vessel of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into treasure house of his God. It's like he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. So it's like in verse 3, and the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of his children of Israel, of the king's seed, and of the princes. So yeah, that's like when I read the history, right, of the background, in the book of Daniel, when King Nebuchadnezzar, this is what he did. He took Daniel and some other captives to Babylon to serve in his court, and that's what it was getting into. Daniel and the 3 Hebrews, they got chosen to be in the king's court because they were of the king's seed, and also they were noble. That's why Daniel eventually worked his way up for to the president, and that's why it's good to have a good name as well. Yahawashi, I'm gonna get into that too, in another lesson, because he was under the king. Because when you're a king and conquering people, you would take the noble ones, because they were well-rounded men, and they had a lot of information to edify you while you're ruling. That's why saying, and if you took over another territory, you know, that you would bring those people into your court, you know, because they would tell you the information, what happened, and you would understand how things work, you know. So yeah, cause when you're a king, you would get those laborers, is what I'm getting into, of the nation, and transfer the laborers, you know, to your kingdom, you know, that, you know what I mean, like your empire that you're ruling, you know. Because the that's what would happen. The higher ups would bring them into you, bring them in with the nobles, and he would inform you the history, like the lands and the wars, and you know, what gods they worshipped, what kind of gods, you know. So Daniel and the three holy boys were in the king's seed, and the princes, you know. Yeah, because that's what it's getting into right there, you know, because they took over that. They got called for that, is what I mean, Salakia. So I'm going to read verse 4. Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, in cunning and knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. See, Khan, you know, it's getting into that, you know, that science. And like I was saying before, you know, that the princes, it's going into all the noble ones as well, not just the king's seed. Yeah, so like that's why I was talking about the princes. But yeah, like this verse 4, I'm gonna read it again. Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. So yeah, Khan, you know, this is getting into you know, that science, right? That's that kingly trait to understand all these things, like I was saying, you know, real well-rounded with knowledge, you know, all brothers got different gifts and lots, and that should be that you should that's what you want to have, that basic understanding in the scriptures, you know, pertaining to wisdom. So it shows you that the southern kingdom went into captivity under the Babylonians, and it's good to know this pertaining to our history, because you know, because then even so now we could just get into when we got into captivity under the Persians. Yeah, because it's just good, always edifying to for that, to have that knowledge on this part of history. So it's Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahawah by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. And Yahawah stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heavens had given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he had charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? He, God, be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. See, Khan, Cyrus is giving them commission for our people to go back and build the temple under, you know, the Persian Empire. You know, Khan. So that's what he wanted them to do under the Persians. So like I'm saying, so like, you know, in the book of Nehemiah, Esdras, and Malachi, and Zechariah, it's all written in this Persian Empire. You know, Ezekiel and Daniel and Babylon, and Jeremiah led up to Babylon as well. You know, because this is all getting into that. You know, yeah, because this history of the four kingdoms intersects with our history. So it had an effect on us. You know, the northern kingdom being moved, some coming to America, like I was saying, which they said it was Ashtoreth in 2nd Esdras 13, and Judah being removed and went into Babylon. You know, a lot of Jakes, you know, they didn't come back to Babylon. You know, a lot of them stay Slacky. I mean, a lot of Jakes. You know that, yeah, they didn't come back from Babylon. You know, a lot of them stayed. You know, because it was part of the scattering of our people. Yeah. So like what I was saying was a lot of our people stayed in Babylon, you know, because they were too busy partying. You know, a lot of people didn't come back. Yeah, cause you know, like just like today, Babylon's a partying state. It's like America, you know, Babylon the Great, so known as America. It's a partying place. So just like then, you know, you can't. So like, cause the Persians, you know, that they built that temple, you know, under the Persian captivity. Our people built a temple, and yeah, so a lot of our people stayed in Babylon. And yeah, like it was part of the scattering. You know, some of our people stayed. It's all part of the scattering. You know, because like that's how you know our people are on the four corners of the earth. So now we could get into the Greeks when they went into captivity. Our people went into captivity through the Greeks. The Hellenization period. This is First Maccabees chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chedem, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So Khan, yeah, it's going into how he took him down, right? And he became that leopard, you know. Khan, you know, he the first over Greece, you know. He smitten Darius the king. So Khan, I'm gonna continue on. You know, I'm gonna go to verse 3. And went throughout the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. So Khan, he was proud because he took down the Mede and Persian Empire. You know, he took down many other strongholds, and you know, he got proud. You know, because he got a lot of wealth off of it as well. You know, he took many spoils of many nations, like I was saying. You know, so he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. He was in that proud estate. You know, and it's similar to today, how Esau and the Edomites are, you know. I'm going to go down to verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So yeah, the four heads, like I said in Daniel chapter 7, the four heads were the four generals, right? Ptolemaeus, you know, the Seleucid. Yes, slack if I said that wrong. Seleucid, you know, which also who Antiochus was from. You know, he's from that Seleucid, you know, and then Cassander, and then Lysimachus, you know. So you know, and then the evils multiplied in the earth, and we see that today going on as well. Evils multiplying in the earth, you know. Verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had an hostage at Rome, when he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So, and we get this verse 7 too. It's like 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So yeah, our people, they made a wicked covenant with the heathen, man. So we know nothing new under the sun. We got wicked people today as well, you know. Because yeah, because now we're gonna see also how it's explaining it like I just read, that this Greek Empire had a big influence on our people and turning our people into wicked Israelites, man, making a covenant with the heathen, leaving the true natural order of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So I'm going to go down to verse 42. I'm going to get 41, actually. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Just like in the time of Nimrod, they did this as well. And, in Genesis, now look at today, it's going on as well, the New World Order. That's why everything's all by design, like the Pride months, all this going on, how they're pushing it on our children. It's like on our kids. I don't have kids, but they're pushing it on kids that they should be like a woman, and a woman should be a man. They're pushing out all these abominations. It's all the agenda. It's all by design. The New World Order. This is all by design through the Edomites. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Verse 42, and everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So this is what they do today. They, that's that Hellenization going on today. People, they'll agree with him and follow the ways of the heathen. Scriptures say don't follow the ways of the heathen. Let's get verse 43. Yea, many of Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, and to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So this was the motto that they were pushing forward, the law they were pushing forward, Salakia, I said motto, I meant law, to conform to the Greeks' ways, or if not, you were gonna die. And like I said, this horn had a big impact on our people, referring to it as a horn, because this is what we're getting into, this was that horn, so let's get into 2 Maccabees, chapter 4. Start at verse 1. Simon now, of whom we spake of before, having been a betrayer of the money and of his country, slandered Ananias, and is if he had terrified Heliodorus and been worker of these evils. I'm going to go down to verse 7, Salakia. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Ananias, labored underhand to be the high priest. So when Epiphanes took over the Seleucid Empire, he forced Hellenization, like we were saying. This is what was going on. The Hellenization period, like in the First Maccabees chapter 1 as well. And you had the high priest, Ananias was a righteous high priest, and his wicked brother, who we're reading about right here, Jason, the brother of Ananias, he labored underhand to become high priest as well, and he wanted the perks that come with it. He wanted to be that corruptible high priest for his own benefits, to fill his belly with the perks of it, of that position, being a high priest, because you would have to be an ambassador of Israel to all these other nations and treasury, and he wanted the clout of this role. So verse 8, promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. He wanted to pay to be high priest. That's what it's getting into. Beheld, it's like it. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, and if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise, and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians. Man, so we see right there that Jake, they call themselves Americans today, and which is Americo Vespucci, just as they call themselves that, that American. You're really calling yourself Americo Vespucci, and Khan. And Americans, they call themselves today Antiochians. And let's get that real quick. I want to get that Psalms. It's the book of Psalms. Slock it, bear with me. I'm bringing it out. The book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And yeah, that's what Esau Edom thinks. He thinks this place is going to go on forever, but it's not. We see the signs of the times, these blood moons, like how the scriptures say. You'll see signs from the heavens and from the moon, and yeah, because Yahawashi is making it known that the time is running out and he's coming near. He's coming, Yeah, that's what it's getting into, and they're naming it after their own names, the lands after their own names, right? Even out here, Stockton is named after an Edomite, and also when you get into Leo Scipio Africanus, the Roman general, the Edomite, that's what they named. They named after Africa, Salakia, and Jake is calling themselves after an Edomite back then. Nothing new under the sun, because if you're an Israelite by bloodline, but you're calling yourself an Antiochian, man, that's all bad, Con, and like that Americo Vespucci too as well. He was an Edomite too, Con, like he did like a map, So Con, let's get that back to the blue letter now. This is First Corinthians, because we see how our people went through that Hellenization, so we want to get into that. Another 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as ye were led. And then that's what it was getting into, because that's what they were led to. These Gentiles were carried away and led to dumb idols. In our history, we read. We read that right there, of our history, and Paul knew the history too. That's why he said that, because they were led, and if they didn't do it, they were punished to death, So Paul, writing to the Corinthians, who were Israelites, led into these dumb idols, what our forefathers did, man, come. Because that's why Yahawashi said, go among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles, the dispersed of the Gentiles, that diaspora. That's what that is, that diaspora. Because our people, let me get that real quick. Yeah, it's verse 35. When said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So that's John chapter 7, verse 35. And when you get into that dispersed, it's that diaspora, a scattering, dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. So it's talking about Israelites, man. So Paul was talking to Israelites in the church in Corinth, man. So Khan, and I went over the Gentiles too on the block as well. Yahawah is all, you check it out. But yeah, Khan. This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahawashi. So he mentions the Greeks because the effect the Greeks had on Jake during that Hellenization period. This was the Roman Empire when he was speaking. When he was speaking during that time, it was during the Roman Empire, like I was saying, and because the Romans, it was really not that different from the Greek Empire, because they pretty much absorbed the Greek Empire. They took over them, and they took a lot of their same customs. They still had the city states, Asia Minor, Corinth, Ephesus, Galatia, all forms of Greek city states. The customs didn't change from Greek to Rome. That's why they have a term, Greco-Roman Empire, because you have to understand that effect that they had on our people, and they still did during the time of the Romans. Like you could see it when you read the book of Romans. You understand it, So God, let's get to the book of Luke, chapter 21. It's when Yahawashi prophesied what was going to happen. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So that's what Yahawashi prophesied, 7 AD, the siege of the Jerusalem. They fell by the sword, our people, and fled into all nations. And after 70 AD, they were dispersed into northwest Africa, called Slave Coast. And after we fled from Jerusalem, we had the transatlantic slave trade. And they went into all nations around the four corners of the earth. Some of our people were sold into captivity during 70 AD as well. But the bulk was during that transatlantic slave trade, and trodden by the Gentiles. That's happening now. Those heathens are in our land right now, and it started here in this Roman Empire, 70 AD, Gentiles being fulfilled, and we're here at the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled. These kingdoms have scattered us, and and it's all gonna be a gathering, through Yahawashi, And Khan. Let's get that book of Jeremiah. Salakia, bear with me. This is the book of Jeremiah. Let me get that Jeremiah real quick. Salakia. Oh, I was in the New Testament. That's why I was like, what? I thought I clicked on the old. In Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 10. Hear the word of Yahawah, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. So yeah, we're seeing, because that's going into it right there, because Israel is scattered. It's speaking to the globe, the whole world, the four corners of the earth. Like I said, because we're scattered around the four corners of the earth, and we went through these empires of Hellenization and being scattered. And Yahawashi is coming to gather his elect, like how it says Genesis chapter 49, and he's gonna get them all out of these captivities around the four corners of the earth that his people are in. And yeah, that fourth beast is speaking of that little horn, which is America. So all these empires had a major effect on our circumstances in the earth, just as a scattering. He would gather us. Like we get that as well, because Yahawashi even said it in Matthew chapter 24, verse 31. And he will send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and he shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to another. So we see that's what's going to happen. Yahawashi is going to gather his elect, for the four winds, from the four corners of the earth. Khan. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to get into that for edification's sake. And if you get this rose books of Bible charts, maps, and timelines. You could read the timeline during when this happened. You know, that's how I knew to tell you, like the time periods. Of course, I knew the timeline off the chart, right? The chart what I showed you, that I bring out on the block. But this is good too as well to just have this timeline chart, because it even tells you when Daniel was born in 620 BC. You know, Con. Yeah. So now I want to get into lining it up. You know, because we know that fourth beast is the Roman Empire, which is now the revised Holy Roman Empire, because this is modern day Rome. And you know, the reason that, like I said, you know, these kingdoms were different, bro, because they were all monarchies, and then this one, it was a senate. You know, like it was choosing, like elections, like today, nothing new under the sun, right? So Khan, let's go back to this real quick. Get that second address 11. Salakia, bear with me. Here's second Esdras chapter 11. Second Esdras chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 1. And then I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wing over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. And I beheld out of her feathers, and grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small. So yeah, like we was getting into that division, right? Daniel chapter 7, you know, how the four beasts. You know, so this is getting into this is going into it right here, that this eagle represents the Holy Roman Empire. You know, because this ties in with that Daniel chapter 7, what we went into as well. You know, because like I was saying, that in that fourth beast is the Roman Empire. Daniel chapter 7 verse 7. We went into that. So calm. Yeah, and so now I'm going to read on. I'm going to go down to verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And behold, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood, I saw that he went out a man's voice, and said unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made reign in my world, that the end of their time might come through them? Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had full power of the world, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So yeah, we see that you know, in that verse 39, it's getting into that eagle is the fourth beast, you know, because it said, art not thou that it remainest of the four beasts. God. Yeah, because so we see that this nation is in rulership, and Yahawah set it up that way. You know, Job 9:24, earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Because we're just playing Yahawah's movie at the end of the day. So in that verse 40, you know, it's getting into like how he's doing that wicked oppression, and he's dwelt upon the earth and dwelt with deceit. You know. And that's what these Esau, Edom, and the Edomites are doing today. So we know this is this coincides hand in hand with it. You know, I could get this too as well to line up with that. This is you get this in Sirach chapter 10. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Yeah, it's going to be translated to the kingdom of Yahawashi. Yahawashi and the Israelites. That's what, because he's doing, he's getting it by riches and deceit, what he's doing, you know? God. Yeah, because, like that's going into it right there, that what Esau's doing is it's showing you, like, right there, it's lining up. He's oppressing us. We're still under that slavery, you know? Come on. So now I'm going to go down. I'm going to get verse 12. I'm going to get chapter 12 now. Second Ezra chapter 12. So second Ezra chapter 12. And it came to pass, while the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remaineth and the four wings appeared no more. And the two went unto it, and set themselves up to reign, and their kingdom was small and full of uproar. And I saw, and behold, they appear no more, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. So it was in great fear when they awakened I out of trouble and trance of my mind from great fear, and said unto my spirit, I'm going to go down to, yes. So, like, this is going into, like, right here, what I just read, it's going into that nuclear destruction that's coming to Babylon, which is as Babylon the Great, which is known as America. And this was prophesied, you know. It's it's reiterated that this equals being burnt, and describing that's also why the earth was in great fear. You know. Yeah. So I'm gonna continue on, and I'm gonna go down to verse 10. Salakia, bear with me. Verse 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest came up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. So yeah, we know that eagle, you know, this is the boy Esau Edom, that's his mascot, the eagle. Like I've went into previous lessons on this. Yahawah is all, you checked them, and this is why it lines up with that. You know? You know, in the vision of thy brother Daniel. And, you know, if you have the precept upon precept Bible, that lines up with Daniel 7:7, you know. So it's the because I have the precept upon precept Bible, and that lines up with Daniel 7:7, you know. And, verse 12, but it was not expounded unto him, therefore therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come, there shall arise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. So yeah, it was getting into that revised Holy Roman Empire, like I was saying, you know. And when we read second Ezra 12:1-3, you know, that nuclear destruction, it was getting into that you know, that was being reiterated and prophesied right there, because of that eagle is being burnt. And then that's why the earth's going to be in great fear, because there's going to be a lot of destruction on this earth, you know, ICBM missiles, you know, and also the chariots with fire, you know. Even Yahawashi is going to have fire out of his mouth, you know. So you know, Yahawah Radazal, this lesson was edifying. Now I want to get into Matthew 26, wrap it up. So Matthew 26 and verse 6. Yeah, so Lakia too, about the image of the beast, you know, let the brothers Hawayalas and Yahusop go into that. So don't mind what I said on my blog lesson. You know, I cut it out, because we're just going to wait until the brothers break it down. So, yeah. So this is Matthew 26, verse 6. Now when Yahawashi was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box, very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. And when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahawashi understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she had wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also that this woman had done be told for a memorial of her. And with that, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. Peace, salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom.